You better get out of here, honky.
Already for Richard to say something.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin. Yeehaw!
I just crapped my pants.
All right, yeehaw. It is 11:11. YouTube is still down.
I don't think it is.
It's not.
No, I think it's back up. I checked a few minutes ago.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
My daughter was freaking
I was
out.
still getting notifications from it.
Yeah, apparently their site was working, but their videos were not. But yeah, my daughter was freaking out because she couldn't watch YouTube Kids.
So, when that happened earlier, I was thinking, like, I wonder. I feel like it's different because of what kind of platform they are, but I wonder how much money they lose overall just for it being shut down for a little bit. Like, if it has, you know what I'm saying? If it tied, because I worked at Hostess Wonder Bread for a summer when I was in high school, and I remember the machines shut down, and I was actually trying to remember this morning, but I think it was like $20,000 a minute because they're just pumping through, bread and donuts and whatever else. So anyway, so when that I wonder when it comes to something like this, and Richard, you may know, since you deal with tech, you have any idea what kind of loss?
I mean,
if
that's
any at all?
major. I mean, you're talking, it's if we're talking on a per ad basis, millions of views an hour. I mean, that's a substantial amount of money they lost. I would imagine they'd get it back though, because it's not like those people are going to go, that wanted to watch those videos are watching them now anyways. So
Right.
I don't know if it's necessarily the revenue lost per se.
It'd probably be one thing if it was a live broadcast.
Yeah, it'd probably
You know
be
what I'm saying?
different. Yeah, and in your case with like the Wonder Bread, it's like, well, the bread you're not making, you're not selling.
You're right. Yeah. That makes more. It just made me think though. Like, I wonder how it works for the tech world. You know. But like you said, those videos.
The thing about YouTube is they have the lock on that. Like, it's not like you're never going to use YouTube again, right?
I don't know. I'm about to make Pornhub my go-to.
It's not like you're never going to go back there again. Like, literally, that's like one of the things that I watch every day is something on YouTube.
Yeah,
every day.
I still I haven't really gone to. I really haven't even gone to Spotify to even watch Rogan. Like, I just everything else I do is on YouTube. So I just
How much longer is Rogan on Spotify? Is that a permanent thing, or will he ever jump to Spotify only? I mean, for 100 million, you would think Spotify would have the lockdown on that.
Exactly. I think at first it was to the beginning of the year, but it may change. It may have changed.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it changing if he signed a contract. I'm sure it's one thing or the other,
Yeah, I mean, for 100 million, you would think they would just be like, yeah, this is, I don't know. I know that Spotify just bought, I think it's called Megaphone, which is basically it's a major company for how podcasts do their advertising. So it looks like they're going to get more into that side of the game. There's a rumor too that there's going to be a podcast only subscription soon coming to Spotify.
It's all going to I think this is the new way.
Yeah, Spotify hit us up. Don't worry.
Yeah. Trying to get that dollar. I'm trying to get that dollar contract.
$50. Yeah.
Spotify, we see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a couple other. There's another network. I think it was called like, I don't know what it's called, like Wonderly or something like that. Got bought too. I don't think Spotify bought them though. I think they were bought by somebody else. For like 500 million or something.
Wow. So it's going to be interesting to see if podcasting. I guarantee it's gonna turn into no different than record labels, record companies with bands. Like I feel like podcasts are your new bands.
Well, kind of. I think in some cases it depends upon the podcasters, right?
Mhm.
Because I mean, a lot of these guys can get a lot of money through Patreon still and just do their own
Mhm.
thing. And granted,
Yeah.
being picked up by like CBS or Spotify is a big deal. But you might see, not that people have the same power as Rogan does, but you might see a lot of these
Right.
people doing the same thing. Like, my show, my content, you know.
Mhm.
So
There's no man. I get the direct inject on money.
yeah, I say I don't know. If dumb concept here. If Spotify were to come to us and be like, "Hey, we'll pay you $50 million, but you can't say these things," I'd probably say okay.
Oh yeah. Or better yet, you just tell me what you want me to say. Yeah. We have 30 listeners. You know what I'm saying?
Next thing you know, there's a Trump sign behind Kevin. Like, what
Yeah.
happened? What happened?
He's like, all lives matter. He's got it written everywhere. Yeah, but it is going to be interesting to see if it goes, because you got to think like, I mean, obviously we're such a small podcast, but let's just say you're an NBA player, right? You have a mediocre name, but you still want to do a podcast, like, well, okay, like I'm real curious to see how Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, right? Yeah. They do one together. And honestly, the reason I don't listen to it is because it's all chopped up. Like I listen to it from time to time, but I wish it was just a conversation. But it's all produced. You can tell it was recorded like 6 months ago.
Mhm.
And like I'm even at the point now where I'm like, no, I don't want. Like I want realness. Like I want the real conversation. I don't want it all chopped up. And that's so that I think because how we always talk about with like CNN or Fox or whoever, it's like everyone's got their agenda, but it's like if you really hear a full conversation, I just think it just makes it better.
Well, that's really what, when you hear things like that, nothing is better than being a fly on the wall, right? Hearing a conversation and hearing a podcast like that sometimes makes it feel like you might be hearing something you're not supposed to hear. And every once in a while you get that. Every once in a while you'll get even on radio. Every once in a while you'll get that on-air fight that you're not supposed to hear, and you'll get it. And that's really what podcasting is, right? It's honest opinions that someone may blurt out that and you're just kind of so. But
you're literally just listening to a conversation. I mean, that's basically what we do.
Yeah, we're nosy.
We have no idea what we're going to really talk about, but that's, but that's even, I know we always use, what'd you say?
I don't even have topics.
Nope. We're just like, we've been texting all day. What else is there to talk about?
Let's just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, I can see that in how everything is like a TV show. Like at first, like this is cool, and then like you get more eyes on it. All right, we got to restrict it more and stuff like that. Like it just depends on where you want to take it. Yeah. Like Richard was saying, there's a lot of people I look at on YouTube that don't have their podcasts on a mainstream podcast outlet, so I just listen to it on YouTube, and they have their Patreon thing, or like I follow some guys that do like a fantasy football thing, and they do the live thing like every Thursday, like a live stream on YouTube, and it's cool to watch. You ask it's better to watch on YouTube because you can ask your questions on there, and they read it instead of you calling in and stuff like that. So it's every platform is different, and the way you use it is pretty cool. So YouTube's never gonna die though. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It'd be hard to see YouTube die. That's for sure.
Right. what was the competing company for YouTube for a while? It was like
Yeah.
Daily Motion, something like that.
Hold on, I got a text message from a listener. shout out to KPZ real quick.
Right.
I got a cat. It's an inside joke and it's got me laughing. So shout out to KPZ. Anyways, we share birthdays and we're 10 years apart. We're like, yeah, that's my dude. So anyways,
Got a cat.
yeah. I'll tell you some other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, shout out to Landon too, real quick. We got a listener up in Detroit. I've known this guy for a really long time, so he's been texting me from time to time about some of our content or whatever. So, what up, Landon? I'm actually going to get Landon in our fantasy league.
Okay.
So,
Great
there you go.
represent.
Yeah.
Great,
So, anyways,
baby.
there's my shout outs. Send Monday. Send money.
So what's been going on this week, guys?
You know,
Yeah, how's your job, Richard?
it's good. Yeah, I started Monday, so it's pretty quiet so far. I went in there and did HR stuff Monday, and then Tuesday was like a all office staff work from home day. It's like, okay, cool, we'll roll with that. And then today, I
Yeah.
have
This is
the
your
day
second
off.
day on the job?
Yeah, and today I have the day off because of Veterans Day. So
Yeah. Oh wow.
I mean, not
You're
much
like
to
half the
report.
world's working from home. You're going to tell me like you guys literally have it in the schedule to work from home? Is that basically what it was?
Yeah, it's like a stress test. So they send the entire staff home as a stress test to work from home just to make sure, everything's working just in case.
You may know this. I don't know if it's like what countries it is, but there are some that like have mandatory naps like during the day. And it shows like how much more productive they are and all that because they have like this mental break or whatever. Look at Kevin. He's like, dude, sign me up.
Yeah,
It's a nap?
yeah, I know some countries like Japan and over in Europe.
I almost said Japan, but I wasn't sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, there are countries that have very, extreme labor laws in terms of the nap thing and how many days or hours you're allowed to work and like over, like in Paris or whatever, everybody basically shuts down at 4 or 5 o'clock. Nobody goes into work till 8 o'clock. Like it's not like here where you go in as early as possible and stay as late as possible. I'm sure it does happen,
crazy.
but I think the culture, is such that, was it you live to work or you work to live kind of
Mhm.
thing? Like the difference between here and there is your reasoning for working. But yeah, the nap thing is is interesting. But just the work, the differences in the work culture in general from here to other places is pretty amazing. And the fact, the studies are showing that, hey, a 32-hour work week is actually pretty good. And most people don't work the whole 8 hours. Most people work maybe 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's, and that's not due to laziness. That's really due to like, this is all I got to do, and
Right.
especially if you've done your job for so long. If you've had a job for 10 years, right, and it started out at taking you 8 hours a day to do it, 10 years later, if it still takes you eight hours a day to do it, that might be a problem. But chances
Yeah, that's a
are
good
you've
point.
probably knocked off about half that time because you found shortcuts or you've done certain things to improve.
But then more stuff just gets thrown on your plate. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're sitting there doing nothing.
Well,
Usually.
that's the old adage of look busy.
I know, right? Exactly.
We
You gotta
don't tell anybody our work is done, Blake. We just,
Yeah, work is never done.
Yeah.
You always leave one email up.
Yep.
that's unread.
yep, you fire it off at 4:55. Boom, work's done.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I just wait. What'd you say, Kevin?
Make it your desktop. Yeah, just make it your desktop so it never goes away.
Right. Yeah.
So
I got the,
I'm walking past, it looks like emails up. Like, yeah, I'm doing something,
yeah.
buddy.
My boss is like, dude, have you still not answered that email? Like, it's been up there for months.
Have the urgent one up there.
Very
Hey, so
important.
that country was called Spain. It's a mandatory 20 to 30-minute siesta nap.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Since we're talking about work, I'll kind of give a little bit of an update. So as you guys know, I got hired on as a sales support specialist, and then which I still kind of do. And then they moved me into operations, which I've actually been doing a whole lot better. Monday was a really stressful day because I was the only one in operations. One guy was on vacation, the other guy called in sick, so it was just me like running things. And which when it was all said and done, it was a good thing because it made me, sometimes when you don't have anyone there to lean on, you really, you figure it out yourself, So anyways, it was actually a really rough day, but but we got through it. So I got a new boss, and he kind of pulled me into his office and basically to tell me that they have someone that they're going to hire for my spot, the operation spot, because I was just filling in anyways. And I was like, okay, I figured that was going to happen, because it wasn't something I really wanted to do anyways. But I didn't mind because it's been keeping me busy and it's helped me learn that side of the business. But anyways, the conversation kind of went to the way of like, now that you're not doing that, we're going to have to really kind of find you something to do, because they realize that the role they hired me for, I don't think is a 40-hour a week job. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of scared me, but then again, it kind of was like, okay, cool. I'm glad I at least had that conversation, because now I know, like, if I need to look and the new guy was like, dude, I'm not letting you go. I'm not firing you at all. Like, I'm just kind of like, be thinking about other ways that you can help or where you kind of see yourself in a company. So I'm taking it like that, where it's just like, okay, like I'm thinking about going to some of the different departments and just talking to them and asking them like, where, what's missing. Like if you would tell me like what this company needs from like the shop, the communication between the shop and the operations and corporate, and, the office guys, you know what I'm saying? Like try to find a role to where I can kind of, cause I don't mind, like I like helping, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I can be that middle guy, I mean, that's what made me excited about my role, in the first place, the sales support. So anyways, but he also mentioned me doing sales. So it's kind of up in the air, but so that's where it stands. So I know you guys we've talked earlier about like not to tell them I'm bored or whatever, but I kind of came out and told the guy, I go, look, there's a lot of people around here just twiddling their thumbs, because they don't have anything to do. So, I've seen the writing on the wall, but, just let me know if you guys don't need me, because, I need to look or whatever. So yeah, there's my update.
Scary though.
What's that?
That kind of scary though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, it takes me right back to, we were talking about this a few months ago, or it's almost a year now. In January, it'll be a year. It's just the starting over, man. I mean, it's, but I don't know. I try to look at, I try to look at everything like as an experience, right? So like I'm learning stuff not only about the trucking industry, but also about myself by doing these different positions. Like I'm really trying to like when I'm doing something and I was like, when you kind of have that moment, you're like, oh, I rock that. Like I'm taking more mental notes of that and being like, okay, like I really like doing this part of the company. So now how can I expand on it or work on it or whatever? So, and that guy, his name's John. He even told me, he was like, dude, he goes, I hear you on the phone and the way you talk to customers. You've got it. He's like, you've got it. Like, you're great. And I was just like, cool. Like, thanks. Now, don't kick me out the door. Like, the one thing I like about the relationship so far is I feel like that conversation, though, opened up the door for me to be like, hey, man, like, I think you're going to see that I'm valuable now you just have to help me find where you want me in this company. Like, don't shoo me out. Like, if I'm not, if we don't need this current role, then like find me something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully you see value in me, that I'm at least a hard worker. I show up on time, yada, yada, So I don't know. We'll see where it goes with, or where it goes, from here. But I hope I'm not looking for a new job. But then again, I'm not going to go back into that office and just stand around and look at walls and wait for an email to pop up every once in 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not good for the psyche. I don't care,
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
I think I'm fortunate because like it's just ever evolving, and like if you're looking to find something new, you can definitely learn something new. Like, and that's what I always tell. Like, 2 people I just trained, I promoted, and like this is what I told them coming in there is like, hey, the way you get promoted is just really just finding and like trying to learn everything here, and make it better, right?
Yeah.
And so like I think I'm fortunate because so much, and it's always evolving. It's always something new. I can always go to my boss and be like, all right, so what's the next step for me? What should I be learning, or what new twist can I learn to get where I want to go? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, I think that's all about. It's the culture of the place that you're at, though. Too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm at a good team. We're trying to promote within, and like it's always like
It feels
this
like a
person
family.
carries with them. You know what I'm saying?
See
So
that?
so it's like if me and you have been working together, it's like, all right, I know me and Blake have been working together, so I'm carrying them with me. So I'm gonna also teach them this. So if I get promoted, he knows how to do this, and then he
That's
gets
what's up.
promoted like that. Like, I feel like it's like that there. And
Yeah.
I don't know many places like that, but you can always learn something. Always.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. That's true. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Like, I think the culture of the place makes a big difference too. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was kind of open with my boss about that. Like, at one point I was like, dude, honestly, man, everyone talks about each other around here and I can't stand it. I was like, and I don't know what this is. And maybe this is a talent, or not a talent, but a gift of mine. Everyone comes to me and tells me stuff. So I don't know, like, that's why I said, like, I like to help, and because like I've had 2 different people from 2 different departments just come and like vent to me, or like they're already starting to tell me kind of things that they would like to see changed. You know what I'm saying? Or not changed, but just, like, and that's why I said I've been thinking about that role. Like, okay, how can I be that major communicator between the mechanics, the shop? Because I had one of the guys say, I'll be honest with you, it feels like the north side and the south side around here.
Yeah.
Right. So like when they come into operations of the office, they don't feel that love. They don't, look, man, I've been in trucking for a while, and
Different goals, basically. 2 different teams, two different goals. It sounds like.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. I mean, I hope I'm not on my way out, and I hope I can, kind of find a path in there, to show my value. But,
Yeah, that's kind of what I always tell people. Is like, if you have downtime, do something that makes yourself valuable. Like, just because you have downtime doesn't necessarily mean that you can't either A, learn a new skill, or B, find something that needs to be achieved in the company that that will make you valuable. Because that's what they look for when they start laying people off. Is who if we let this person go, what kind of things will we lose? And whether that's having created something, or established a role, like what you're talking about, Blake, or like Kevin is talking about, establishing a team like that, or anything else. But yeah, that's kind of what I always preach to people when I see them literally just sitting there saying, I don't have anything to do. And it's like, you do have things to do, you just choose not to find them.
Right.
So yeah, it's it definitely does separate those who have the drive and those who don't.
Yeah, but see, like with operations right now, like I'm in the middle of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like trucks are coming in. I'm dealing with truck drivers. I'm dealing with customers. I'm dealing with like everybody. So, but then when I go back into that lonely little office and play my sales support role, like, you know, like you said, like there's always something to do. It's just like, dude, like it's like, it's really hard to find something to do, you know? I mean, at least now I have the operations knowledge, you know? So I don't know, maybe I need to go spend some time in the shop and just kind of, keeping mechanics and keeping truck drivers in the trucking industry, which Kevin, you probably know, is the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to keep drivers, right? It's hardest thing to do is keep mechanics. So maybe there's a role there for me to make sure that these mechanics are feeling appreciated, that these truck drivers are feeling appreciated, that everybody is. What's that?
It's super competitive. Is a big reason.
Yeah,
why.
it is. You can find something easy. Yeah.
If you have one of those two skill sets, you're getting a job tomorrow if you want one.
Right.
Yeah. And having worked in IT for Altec, it's the exact same thing. We had the office people versus the floor people. That was something that was real. I seen as IT.
Mm-hmm.
I would be helping an office person and then go downstairs to the manufacturing floor and, see sometimes the guys would just be having a rough day and they would feel like the office people just don't get it. And, and the other thing too is kind of the blue collar versus white collar mentality, those mechanics are working 12-hour days where the office people are working, 8-hour days of working,
Right.
So it's just, it's I don't think you're ever necessarily going to get the two people on the same page, but a lot of that is what middle management is for, in terms of, you have your maintenance floor managers who it's their job to bridge that gap. Like it's their job to make sure those floor guys feel appreciated, and if they're failing to do that job, then that's a discussion that needs to be had.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to bring to them is just kind of lay out, just kind of how real I get with you guys sometimes. It's just like, hey man, this is how I see me. Like, this is what I like to do. Like, I want those mechanics to know. I mean, anytime I walk on the floor, it's just, hey Bob, hey Ronnie, hey, like, and they're doing it to me too, and it's just this. So whatever that is, the likability, whatever it is, like, I want to be able to use it to just kind of make a company or make, a business or whatever, just run smooth. And I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
And some.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, maybe one of the things I've seen done is making sure there's recognition just for those mechanic guys, making sure there's some sort of reward that none of the office people can get, but, and make sure the reward's plentiful. Whether it's, maybe have a few employees of the month or, but make sure that those office people cannot get that reward. Just something like that would be helpful.
Well, it's funny you say that because we actually got pizza for the mechanics today because they met a goal. But even I had that thought today, was like, I don't feel like this was their goal. They accomplished it. We shouldn't partake in the pizza.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because there are days where we just order pizza for the office and not the mechanic, so
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Just I mean, I used to always tell this to my old boss. I mean, look, dude, when it's in the trucking business, I mean, the truck driver that's the Michael Jordan, man. I mean, he's the one that is like, and look, unfortunately, a lot of truck drivers aren't completely mentally healthy. a lot of them are, I mean, you definitely come across some that, have some screws loose, but there's also,
that's for sure.
That's what they always say. But I've also met some that are great people and they hustle and they make $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 doing it. I mean, think about it. They love to travel and they, they're whatever, they're reliable and all that. But, I just lost my train of thought.
The pizza party?
Oh, yeah. I was just talking about like how my boss, I just kept telling him, I was like, dude, like, why don't you just like you realize how much like a $15 gift card or a $10 gift card somewhere to just somebody just be like, hey man, I heard that you took that load out and it was like 8:00 at night when you left. Just want to let you know I appreciate you. Here's a $10 Starbucks card. That will keep somebody at that company. I guarantee it will keep somebody at a company because you just feel appreciated.
You know what?
Right?
Men
People
love free
stay at
food.
jobs longer when they feel important. People stay at jobs longer when they feel important. I'm gonna tell you, like even when I delivered FedEx, like if I'm delivering to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A and I don't get that free drink, I'm gonna do more for them than anybody else that says just put the packages right there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, all you want to do is feel important.
You'll go above and beyond for those that go above and beyond for you. Fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know. I have these, I have these not visions, but you have these thoughts of like ways that you kind of see yourself, and how you can contribute to a company. There's part of me that just kind of feels like I got to find the right company. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's also that's so hard to do is jump around from job to job, and I don't know if it's easier to. I don't know if it's possible to. I don't know exactly what I want to do. Right. So it's not like I can just go on Indeedjobs.com and type in exactly what I want to do and see what's available. Right. It's just, I find myself, I've been in the trucking business for 10 years. So it's like, well, right, you kind of, I'm not going to say I'm stuck. This is what you've experienced in. So if you want to move up, like Richard's been doing, you kind of hit that same industry and show your value. So, there's part of me just tells myself, hey, dude, you might as well just fall in love with selling trailers and trucks or whatever, right? Like,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I know plenty of people that make good money doing that. That's
yeah, and it's not going away.
No,
right? I mean, the trucking industry. I mean, we saw that in the pandemic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Two things we need is internet and trucking.
Yeah, and if YouTube shuts down, we're all screwed. Yeah. That's actually it. I mean, we don't have to segue, but we can. That's also interesting to think about how many people get their news from YouTube now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I was actually watching a video yesterday where it talked about how if YouTube will ever be found liable for the news it allows to be on there, granted, it's a difference between having difference of opinion and just throwing out misinformation, right? I mean, there's a difference.
Right.
We can agree on that. And the misinformation comes from all sides. Let's not
right.
spew that, as not correct. It comes from everybody. So, yeah, I mean, people do get a lot of their news from Facebook and YouTube, and Twitter, I guess too. That's really what social media has become. Is you go to Twitter, you refresh that feed because you want to get the news, right?
Faster.
Yeah.
Faster.
Yeah.
You can go a YouTube video for 2 minutes to summarize the week, So
yeah.
I wonder if, like you were talking about, like the false information that YouTube produces too. Can they just put like disclaimers on their videos, basically? Like
they probably can. They also, I know they demonetize a lot of that stuff too. But the stuff is still out there. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't just, I guess at the end of the day, you can't just silence people, right? I mean,
well, and that's I mean, that's what they're doing to some people. If they strongly don't agree with their point, then they just silence them, which I find that's I mean, I've heard some podcasts talk about that.
Harder for you to find them.
Say that again, Kevin.
Is it silencing them or making it harder for you to find them?
So I think they do the shadow ban thing, right? Where they make it so that if you Google somebody in particular, they won't show up. But if you Google a name of their video, they may show up that way. Like they make it kind of harder for you to show up in the in the scheme of things. Yeah. So
and then some people have just strictly been banned. See, dude, we've seen people. I can't think. I remember hearing people talk about on podcasts or whatever, like people literally being banned off of Twitter for just like making a comment about transgender or whatever, right? Like it just like something that doesn't align with whoever else, you know, and then you immediately have to, you know.
And in some cases, the opinion isn't that bad. Like, you know, like the whole
Yeah.
Joe Rogan thing where he said, I don't think a 5-year-old should be allowed to transition. Like,
Yeah.
where,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
Stuff like that where it's like, yeah, maybe, probably.
Yeah. And like, but see, like that's his opinion. You know, you were kind of talking about how like, you know, if they're going to censor people or the misinformation that's out there. What I find interesting about that is that before this time, all we had was the news and whatever they told us. Now we have people that are fact checking, breaking it down, having open conversations about it, you know, like really diving into it more. And I feel like we almost get a better perspective or a better story because people are, you know, they're not just, I mean, we've seen it, we've talked about it. I mean, I watched a little bit of, I think it was CNN the other day, and I was just like, man, this chick might as well just be rolling her eyes and just like making fun of this guy. Like, I mean, it's not news. It feels like a YouTube station that is so left or so right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's not
Sometimes
news.
you're getting 20 different opinions on one thing, though, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Recently, Tucker Carlson got brought to court for something he said, and Fox's defense of him was that Tucker Carlson is not news; he's entertainment. So it's like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like Fox News blatantly came out. He blatantly came out and said Tucker Carlson is not news, and you should not take it that way. He is entertainment.
Who's Tucker Carlson?
So Tucker Carlson is a pretty popular pundit. I think he's on at like 8:00 every night on Fox News. He's, you know, he could be kind of out there. Yeah, but I feel like he was like a comedian before this or something. Like he did something totally different before this, but his show is interesting. I've watched it a few times just to kind of see, you know, what it was. And he's very confrontational. We'll put it like that.
See, that's what I don't need. Like even that Louder with Crowder guy. Have you ever seen his videos?
No.
Well, like I mean, some of it's okay. Like he'll like set up a table and then put debate me or something, and he'll just have conversations.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So he's got his like own show now, and apparently it gets killer followers or whatever. And I've listened to a few clips. He just gets on my nerves. So it's just a guy. He just gets on my nerves. But I do find it very interesting that like people like that, who is like the Hodge twins we've talked about, like there are certain people that have really become like, I mean, that's who people go to for their news because they feel like they're getting the truth.
It's their job and that it's their personality. Like almost like a Stephen A. Smith. Like it's not like he's trying to be a jerk or be that way. That's what he gets paid to do. They want him to do that.
Yeah,
right?
Facts.
Yeah. One chick, and I don't know what station she's on. Her name's Tommy Lauren, and I will not watch her to save my life. Like she's straight. Have you ever seen her, Richard?
No.
But like
Tommy Lauren.
Yeah, she's like the worst.
What is she? What network?
They get paid to do that. Like they get paid to be like either extreme. Like they're playing.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. You know who she is. Hold on. She's real pretty.
Oh yeah.
Richard.
Yep. I
cannot ever. But
she's the Stephen A. Smith of females.
Yeah, they get paid. They're getting paid to be a character. Almost like Richard was saying. It's
entertainment.
Carlson, like it's entertainment. It's like WWE is not a sport. Like don't take it as a like. That's how it is.
So, okay, do you think we're all just being played?
Yes.
Like he said, yes. I mean, like, okay. So I was thinking about this. So all right, for those that don't know who, well, let me say it first. I feel like Trump is about to turn into Colby Covington. Now, you guys get that reference. For those that don't know who Colby Covington is, he's an MMA fighter. He always talks about Trump and he's the best and all that stuff, but he walks around with a fake belt all the time, and he calls himself the champ. And I really think that's what's about to happen. He is not. There's with all the fraud that's going on, there is no way he's giving up the reign of the leader of the free world, right? Like he will make his own Oval Office somewhere if he has to. Like there's no way, dude. There's no way he's backing down unless there is like 100% proof that all the ballots got counted and all that stuff.
All right. Mm-hmm. Hey, on a side note, before we go back into this conversation, Kobe and George Masvidal might be doing the new season of Tough, right? They're gonna bring back the show, and they're trying to bring those guys to do. I would watch it just because I don't like Kobe.
yeah. They're not fighting each other though, right? No, they're two different weight classes. Anyways,
is that the whole point of that show? Is the two coaches fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've. I don't think they're in the same weight class.
Doesn't matter.
They're 170, aren't they?
Oh, crap,
170.
Right.
Kobe's 170.
I was thinking Kobe was 155 for some reason. Anyways, yeah, you're right. He is 170.
Yeah, I feel like you too. Like, and that's what I said before to Richard. Like, I don't want to be close enough to where there's like this interim championship, and we don't know what's going on and who's the real president. Yeah.
I mean, they've come out and said like.
I mean,
so like, Trump has said basically that there are like 15,000 false votes, like in like Arizona or Michigan or something like that, and he wants all 15,000 thrown out. And it's like, even if you throw out all 15,000, he still lost. Like,
yeah, see, that's weird.
It's just a weird game. And the thing is he set this stage. All day zero. Like he played this game. And and Kevin and I have been talking about it. Like this is what it's coming down to. Like he's playing this game, and he started it, from the beginning. I felt like he knew that this was going to happen. That it was going to be close, and that his only shot was to be able to cry foul. And it's like, okay, even if you kind of can cry foul, you can't cry foul enough to win. Like you still
it can't.
You're literally down 6 states, and you need 5 of those 6 states to win, and there's no way you're gonna get that. Like there's just.
I mean, I understand why you're saying he's crying foul or whatever, but then again, like if there is evidence of either ballots being thrown away or like all this stuff, I mean, they're saying like there was a 120-year-old dead man that voted.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like
every election period. Like this isn't out of the ordinary. These things that they're crying about happens every election, and it's
then that needs to be fixed.
But you can't cry about 5 votes.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Kevin?
Oh, I said, but you can't cry about 5 votes.
The system is
like it's not. People are acting like the system's out of whack. Like the difference of ballot voting doesn't sway enough to change who's being elected. Like you don't have that much of it. So you have one dude that you found that was 102 years old that voted. Okay, now what? Like,
but what if there's
not?
What if there's 100,000 more like that?
There's not. There's not. No. Right. Nope. They'd find that. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, from what you've seen, there's no security. There's no.
Dude. Yes, there are. There absolutely are checks and balances for this stuff.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of footage out there showing that there's not.
You know what? A lot of that footage is fake and false. I'll tell you that right now. Show me that footage, dude, and I'll tell you it's fake and false.
I saw them putting up boards so nobody could look in.
Yeah,
to
do you know
ballots.
Why they were putting up the boards? It's because they were taking pictures and photographing and doing all kinds of things they should not have been doing. So they had to cover up the boards because they were preventing the counting from happening. So that's why they were doing it. So
they're on the outside. They're not preventing them. They're trying to take pictures of what's going on.
No, they were doing.
But the important part is that there's a representative in there from each party while they count. The public people outside, that doesn't matter. It's just disruption.
Right. Yep.
Inside.
Right. Were there representatives there though?
Yes.
I mean, that's what they're complaining about, that they didn't oversee it.
No, they absolutely did.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
To be representative.
Yeah,
like I said,
it's duck and weave, man. It's duck and weave. It's the whole game he's been playing from day one. From day one.
These are rich men games.
Yeah.
It's the rich businessman versus the rich politician.
Yeah, that's
the
why
bottom
you can't
line.
get invested in it. You just have to shrug your shoulders and say, "All right, well, he won," and walk away. What does it matter? There's been 45 presidents before. Has it? I don't. What are you gonna do? Nothing. You're just gonna stress yourself out. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, this old man's president now. Okay.
Yeah, my day ain't gonna. Yeah, my day's not gonna change. It's just interesting. I mean, it's just gonna be this story that just keeps going and going and going and going. And that's the part where I just go, man, somebody's above this making money. They're making way too much money off of this to not let it. It's probably why Trump was saying it back months ago, like, there's gonna be fraud. There's gonna be fraud. So now it's fraud.
Yeah, it's a game. He was ready for it. He was ready for it. He knew this was.
And like you said, there's so much money into it. Has to be a game.
Mm-hmm.
All these, I mean, you think about how many people. We talk about sports, like how many people benefit from sports. Your hotels, your restaurants, your vendors.
NCAA.
All this, right? Politics the same way, man.
Oh, yeah.
Every headline, every click. You know how many YouTubers are out there now that are making money because they're just talking about all this stuff?
Business.
They want it to continue too. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easy. Yeah, money. It's easy. Put some words a little bit, and then you're the headline, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure you still got a couple more months of it too.
Probably more.
It's good.
At least till January 20th or whenever the coronation is.
You said January what?
20th.
20th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so what do y'all think about the NBA starting early?
That's what I'm excited about, man. Like, I don't have to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, they were talking about either that day or January 18th. So, I mean, it's not that early, I guess. It's like maybe a month early.
Yeah, but
and
they obviously had to take that break, and then they had the bubble. We kind of joked about it on texting. Like, it is a little unfair, I guess, for some of the teams. I mean, they happen to start so soon, but
cry in your dollar bills, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you play recess for a job. Come on, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
Nobody saw coronavirus coming either, though. Everybody had they all had a weird break before this, right? Keep taking that for granted too. They had 3 months before they even played again. I mean, it all equates out. I mean, Steph was still going to sit out this much time.
Oh, it doesn't bother them. I mean, it's an advantage for them. I mean, it's probably a disadvantage for the Lakers more than anybody.
I mean, at first it is, but come April, May, everybody's going to probably pretty much all be on the same page when it matters anyways.
Right.
I mean, LeBron's already said he's not playing for the first part of the season, so.
Really?
I mean, he said if they start in December that he's not going to play right away.
Yeah, he said he's going to be cherry picking.
Yeah.
Probably needs his time. I mean, I don't know.
He's
when you're
older, man, I don't mind it. I feel like as much as I shit on LeBron, like I feel like he's kind of earned that much more than Kawhi Leonard. He's earned it. Like he go ahead and pick your days, bro. I mean,
he has grandfathered in.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
He has proven his excellence. He has proven what he can do for a team. He has proven he can relax for half the season and put a team together right before the playoffs and go out and win it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
Dude.
look, as long as the
Yeah.
Lakers play 500 ball up till February, March, you know, if LeBron decides to kick it into full gear, then they'll make it in the playoffs and they'll go deep in.
Yeah, they just need to make the playoffs. Just
I
get
can't
in
wait.
and then
Yep.
Get the
'Cause I mean-
Lakers, the Warriors.
they were here, you know. So I mean, they made it in the playoffs and they got it done, right?
Yep. I think the draft is next week.
That is next week.
Is it the 18th?
So that's why you're starting to hear all this buzz about trades and all that stuff, and gonna pick this. Man, I still can't believe the Warriors got the second pick. Like, yeah, it's gonna be. I'm going to watch that just to see what happens that night.
Well, you got Little Melo in this draft too.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, they're saying he's top 5, and and that's a player that, it's kind of an example of someone that totally skipped college and went to pro, and now, or overseas pro ball, and is now, trying to make it in the NBA. So I think, which I think is going to be the norm. I think we're going to see a whole lot more of that.
yeah, they can get paid a little bit. I mean, because your body's on the line, man. If you can make money, they make it as fast as you can.
Yep. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Yeah, and you get professional training, and you can do it full time. You don't have to go to school, and
You're basically a
you
rock
know.
star over there too. Like it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your maturity level goes up, and I mean, he was playing grown men like Luka was at 18. So I mean, you come to the NBA and there's no, big level change, so it's
Yep.
easier to transition.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You got the first pick in this year's NBA fantasy basketball draft. Who do you pick?
Lance Stevenson.
Bro.
All right, you're gonna put me on the spot. I'm gonna pick,
I'd pick Steph Curry.
You love you some Steph Curry.
Yeah, he's guaranteed. If he plays, he's guaranteed.
That's a
I
fact.
think Steph's gonna have, like, MVP chase is gonna be good. I think it would be Luka for me. Like he had a lot of triple doubles last year.
Well, so that's who I was thinking, and not like it matters. I did a quick search today just to see who who they have as the top 10, and it went Anthony Davis, Steph Curry. I already forgot. I think Towns might have been up at the top, anyways. But they had Luka like down at 9, and I was just like, I don't know, man, because I remember at the end of last year, I was like, that's my number 1 pick.
I'd pick Luka
dude,
top 5.
because-
I mean, easily.
I think he's top 3 at this, but the league is so good though, man.
I mean, I don't know.
Steph,
I don't know if you put him
KD.
above Durant and Steph, and I don't know. And
Put Luka
LeBron.
above them, but you got to think he's young,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he just keeps on. He's going to continually get better and better and better. So
Do you
I
put
don't
him
know.
above-
Prime yet.
Do you put him above Greek?
Greek, ooh, free throw percentage is a struggle for Greek, and 3-pointers. Yeah, Greek. I don't know if Greek
He has no
I don't know if Greek deserved MVP this year. I think at the end, LeBron deserved it.
Do you feel like
I
people
think
are
once
gonna-
you guys see him in the playoff series, like, you can't depend on him to get you a mid-range jumper at the end of the game. Like,
He's got to work on that.
yeah, like, can't depend on that.
Now, when he
really
goes,
ball-
hold on. Now, when he goes to the Warriors next year, it's over. There's no need to play. No need.
My goodness. You think he will?
I mean, yes. Oh, yes. He loves Steph Curry. He picked Steph Curry first when they did that little draft thing. He loves Steph Curry.
Hey,
Hey, he's not
now, but
wrong.
listen to this thing. Could you imagine the Warriors already doing what they do, and then you got a bull in a china shop, Giannis, just running around, just grabbing boards, dunking, dude.
Dude,
It would be-
do you realize
Oh,
how
yeah.
many? You know how many threes he would get, Steph and Clay? Dude, it literally. Okay, what's a better team? KD, Steph, and Clay with Draymond, or Giannis, Steph, and Clay and Draymond?
think chemistry
Still gonna
wise,
pick KD.
I think chemistry wise, it's that second team. They,
Greek.
yeah,
with Greek Freak?
I think even though they won with Durant, and Durant is probably the better player, to be fair, at this point in time.
Yes.
I think when I watched them, at least, well, I think it actually helped Golden State that somebody was always hurt. Like, so you didn't have to worry about the power struggle that I don't think you would have with Greek. Like, like Greek is like, okay, this is your role right here. Be in the middle, dunk the ball, block stuff.
Yeah.
The other guys will be outside. They're going to put up threes. And then here's Draymond Green just running up and down the court, too, doing nonsense. Like, that's
you got to think, too, like what Richard's saying, your defense is going to get better because of Giannis, too.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, hold on. Just picture the screen and rolls with Giannis and Steph.
I mean, like, it would be so much fun to watch.
The score will probably be ridiculous.
Hey,
It'd be like
me and the guy
70 to
talking about
150.
since they're having all those Harden to the Sixers rumors. Like, just think if Harden went to the Sixers, like all those shots that they were missing, he's taking 30 of those. Like, so now you don't have to ask those.
I was about to say, would Westbrook fit there?
He kind of would.
Hey, you know where Philly messed up? They messed up getting rid of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, they did.
Philly messed up getting rid of Jimmy Butler.
I think there's too much. I think there's too much testosterone on that team with Embiid. I want to say it might just be Embiid. Might be a problem in terms of playing with another star. I think even if you were to put Harden or Russell Westbrook, with Russell Westbrook, they would just implode. But I think if you put Harden on there, I think there'd probably still be a problem. But I
don't know, dude. That's a nice lineup.
It is a nice lineup. I feel like they've had so much chance there, and it's always just kind of blown up. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like what is happening?
I think the problem is that it's Embiid's team, and then they keep bringing in Simmons and saying that it's his team and he's the other star. I think that's what you got to defer. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick whose team it is.
I think the problem is that they're superstars. Yeah, they can score, but they don't score like Harden does or Steph or even LeBron. Like, and Ben Simmons is great, incredible. He just can't shoot. Like, he can't shoot, And I mean, Giannis is going to continue to improve, hopefully, but the guy does so many things good that, like, hey, dude, you're 7 feet tall. It's okay if you can't hit threes, like, whoever, like Towns, I guess. But man, I can't wait. I'm excited for the NBA to start now. Y'all got me jacked up.
The best opportunity for Westbrook right now is a team like the Magic.
Yeah, but he's not going to win. Like, dude, if you're Westbrook right now, you have to be like, send me somewhere.
He's never going to be on a winning squad because of his attitude.
Yeah, he's got.
I don't think he has
one. I feel like he's very much a I got to be the man type player.
He wants to be top dog.
Like Carmelo, I think if he goes somewhere like the Lakers and just accepts his role of like, hey, I'm a point guard. I help other people score, then I score when necessary. Like, I think he'd be great in that role if he can understand that you don't need to score 50 points a night.
Right. Because his, like, I don't ever crap on the guy because I think what he does is phenomenal. It just, he just hasn't had the pieces. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everyone else has 2 or 3 superstars. He's always had, I mean, granted, one time it was him, KD, and Harden, but that was early in the season.
Yeah, Paul George.
3 MVP.
Hold on, y'all breaking up. What'd you say? Kevin's frozen.
I said he had Paul George.
No, I'm not frozen.
That's it.
Yeah, he had Harden last
for
year.
A year.
He had Harden.
KD.
For a year.
KD.
But huh? Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Harden and KD went.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean that was like the beginning of their career. You frozen, Kevin?
No, he's not frozen. I think he's just like. I think he's so excited his computer.
I was thinking.
His
Oh, I was thinking. Don't hurt yourself, bro. No, I mean
So
look,
what's best case scenario? I'm on the team. Like I'm thinking the Bulls now too.
okay, but
I think
if
he
you're
needs to
him,
go east.
if you're him though, you're not going to one of those teams. Like I mean, he's at that part of his career where he's got to go to if he wants to win a championship.
he's got to go to Miami.
Richard just told you he doesn't want to win a championship because if he wanted to win a championship, he would defer. He would accept his role and do better, and he does not do that. He wants to be the dominant dog.
I see. I don't see it. Like I feel like he did. I feel like he did at Houston. I mean,
Dude,
everyone is talking
constant-
great about
there,
it.
there were constant news stories though about him and Harden getting into arguments.
Yeah,
Really?
I felt like at least once a week on Sports Center they'd be like Harden and Westbrook get into an argument or something. I felt like
I don't. Look, don't get me wrong. I don't think I'd want Westbrook as a teammate just because the way he is. But then again, I see his value. He does a lot of good stuff. But yeah, I don't.
look.
I don't know.
Westbrook, I think the reason why you're torn, Blake, is because you're right. Westbrook is a fantastic player, but the problem
He
is
gives you his
in
all.
today's NBA, you're not winning with a fantastic player. Like you're just
Right.
not. And even LeBron proves it. Like LeBron, as great as he is, couldn't do anything, until he found his role. And granted, LeBron is the top dog, but he still, he leads in assists. He leads in, he's a leader, and I don't know if Westbrook is that guy, right?
Right. Yeah. LeBron's so much better than Westbrook.
It's unfair. Sorry.
Brian did not start winning championships.
I just started thinking about it. I was like, man, LeBron James is so good.
Yeah,
Like
he's
he
at
really.
least
I mean,
top 3 of all
like,
time.
like look, yeah. Oh, dude, he's. I mean, like even what he did with Rondo this year, and
Yeah.
like JaVale McGee,
Yeah.
Dwight
He's a
Howard.
leader, man. That's what a leader does.
Yes.
He
You
gets
take
the
your-
out of everybody else, and he did not start winning until that.
Yep.
Did not start winning until he got it from everybody else.
Elevate
He
everybody.
was burning himself out.
Yep.
Yep. I remember laughing like when people kept picking the Lakers at the beginning of the playoffs of the bubble. I was just like, "You're all crazy!" Like they literally just picked up the dude J.R. Smith who just put his shirt back on. Like
It's still off. It's still off to this day.
It's still off.
Bro.
As soon as they won a championship, he's like, "I'm off. My shirt's off."
I think LeBron just wanted a mascot. I think that's really all it was. He just
Well, you know what he wanted? He wanted people that he knew how to play with. But you know what? I don't know if you heard this or not, but I guess Rondo pulled LeBron to the side and told him that he has to, like, when one of the younger players makes a mistake, he has to stop showing his emotion, his frustration, and stare, doing some of those things you saw, like especially with Kuzma. It's like you got, it was one of those good conversations where it's like another leader told another leader, like, hey, remember these guys look up to you, and if you come down on them, it's going to feel a whole lot more mighty, than another player. So learn how to coach better or whatever.
Yeah.
So
that can shake your game up too, right? I mean, if somebody like LeBron's doing that to you as a young person, that's really can put you in a mental funk.
That's such a confidence killer because then it's out on public. Everybody sees it. People hit you up on Twitter. People hit you, your friends text you like, dang, LeBron's hating on you, like, yeah, it's, it's a pretty good point. But
What's up, man? Geared up for the NBA.
I know, man. I'll have to get our
We
fantasy
talking
league
about
going.
presidential votes.
What'd you say?
Said we'll be talking about all-star votes and MVP votes instead of presidential votes.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm ready for that.
We already
I'm
know
ready
those
for
are
that.
crooked.
The MVP race should be tight this year, though. Like that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
it
just
really should be.
It's gonna be insane this year.
Yeah, because especially if Luka has an incredible year, it's gonna. I mean, I don't know. I know LeBron kind of picks and chooses his games, but I feel like he's gone too many years without an MVP. I mean, I don't think he'll get it, but it's just like he has proven that he is the best, definitely since Jordan. And I feel like he's not getting some MVPs that he probably should have. But I don't know, man. The league is so good right now.
The MVP award is so stat driven. I think is really what your problem is. I think he's more concerned with winning those championships than running up the scoreboard for himself.
Yeah, I agree. Get that outro music going.
Look, I said good things about LeBron James.
Dang, write it down.
We're gonna make sure Jared listens to this all the way through.
Man, Pacers still suck. Let's not even.
I knew that was coming.
Pacers is such a terrible organization.
I'm just so glad you're not picking. Every time you crack on Jared, I go, yes, it wasn't me.
Yep. I just pick.
We heard that the Pacers are going to trade for PG again.
I wish they would.
No playoff.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
I wish they would.